Last week, I posted this reel on my page talking about why after purchasing an entire grass-fed cow twice in the past, I will no longer be doing that, and instead I introduced my monthly meat meal prep method. Well, that video caused quite a stir and had a lot of questions. So in today's video, I'm actually going to take a couple of minutes and really go into depth and explain why I personally will not be going the entire or half cow route and what I'm doing instead. And I think that by the time this video is over, I think you're going to see my point. Also, a little bit later in the video, for those of you who are saying, hey, go ahead and just buy local, I want to show you guys the prices in my local grocery store of local grass-fed meat. So to give you guys a little bit of context, we as a family have purchased a half cow twice. The very first time that we purchased it, we paid a little bit over $1,800. This was for the processing, the packaging, the entire process of purchasing the cow. It was $1,700 for the half. We did not have a freezer, so we needed to go and buy a large freezer to be able to fit this entire half cow. So I actually went to a local secondhand thrift store and we were able to purchase a large standing freezer for $600. So after purchasing the half cow and the freezer, we were in $2,300 for a half cow of meat. Now, for the most part, we really did enjoy the fact that we always had our freezer stocked. So the following year, we went ahead and purchased another half cow again. However, with the second year, what we started to notice a lot of the time is that we were not going through our ground beef as quick. We were not going through the stew meats, and we were definitely not utilizing the roasts. Anytime that I would utilize the roasts, my family really wouldn't eat it very much. And because of the size of the roasts, we just had a ton left over. Now, a lot of people said, well, you can just give the butcher a cut sheet. Absolutely. And we did do that. But even if you give them a cut sheet and they cut up all of the most beautiful, perfect cuts of steak, you're still going to have quite a bit of ground beef left over, and you're also going to have a lot of the roast. That's just the nature of the animal. Now, in addition to actually buying the steer, we had to buy things like chicken and salmon and all of our other proteins throughout the entire year. So that $2,300 that we purchased that meat and then the freezer for, it really wasn't feeding us for the entire year. We were stocked up with beef, but I still had to go out and buy the other proteins that we were utilizing as a family. So when this year came around, what we did instead is we actually completely got rid of our freezer. We gave away any of the leftover stew meat that we had, any of the roasts, and we just started from scratch. So what I started is a monthly meat meal prep method. So here are the reasons why we completely did away with buying the half cow method. The very first reason is the fact that I get to go and pick my own cuts of meat. So every single month at the beginning of the month, I will go to the US Chef store and I will see whatever is on sale, but also whatever else I feel like buying. I will pick a couple of proteins for the entire month and I will go and I will buy those in bulk. I will buy large packages and I will bring it home and I will spend a couple hours once a month processing the exact cuts of meat that I want to utilize. So at the beginning of the month, I get to choose what kind of cuts of steak I want, what kind of cuts of meat, and I get to go and I get to purchase all of my proteins at once. I'm not just focusing on beef. I get to have chicken, pork if I want it, duck, lamb. There's just so much to choose from. And also the prices at the US Chef store, I will say, are slightly better than Costco. The second reason we will no longer be buying a half a steer and doing this meat meal prep method instead is because I know that I'm storing up only for a month. So I don't have too much meat left over in my freezer. I have enough for an entire month, maybe a little bit extra to roll over into the next month. But as a whole, I know that nothing is getting freezer burnt. And I know that whatever I'm getting from the store, it's fresh, being utilized within a month, and then I don't have any like old year-long meat in my freezer. Now, the third reason is really the upfront cost. There is very minimal upfront cost because I'm buying a month's worth of meat at a time. Now, we spend about $300 per month for my entire family of 5 for all of our proteins. Chicken, duck, chicken wings, I mean like everything, whatever I choose, I spend between $270 and $300 a month. Now, as a whole, I know that that's more than $2,000 for the entire year, but I'm not just getting beef, I'm getting purchasing everything else. Oysters, salmon, lamb, duck, whatever is on sale that month or whatever I feel like I want to focus and cook that month, I get all of that for $300 or less per month for our entire family. And a lot of the times we do have a little bit left over for the following month. Now, another reason why I am choosing to do this meat meal prep method is because I also have learned to make my own ground chicken as well as ground beef if I choose to do so. I will not be buying any more ground chicken from the grocery store. It's like $6 a pound. And we utilize ground chicken quite a bit in patties, in chicken tacos, and all kinds of different bowls. I use a lot of ground chicken. So to be able to buy chicken thighs or chicken breast on sale for around $1.99, $2.99 a pound, I get to grind it all myself. Okay, now that you kind of know my method and why I'm going to continue using my method over buying the half cow or whole cow, let's address some of the controversial questions and topics that kind of came up in my video. The very first concern was the fact that the meat at the US Chef store is not grass-fed. And I just wanna say that the very first cut of that bulk meat I bought was in fact grass-fed sirloin from the US Chef store. And the price was about half of what Costco sells it for. So US Chef store absolutely does have grass-fed, halal, if that's what you're looking for, but it's completely grass-fed meat. And I can confirm that it tasted extremely close to the grass-fed steer that we purchased in the years past. You can even see it in the color of the meat. It's a lot darker. Unfortunately, my children do not like the flavor of grass-fed beef. I've tried it. Even when we purchased that steer, it was kind of a battle to try and get them to eat that steak unless I smothered it in some kind of marinade. So as a family, it's just a personal choice that we don't buy grass-fed beef. But if you are looking for that and that's your main concern of purchasing an entire cow or half cow is the fact that it's grass-fed, you can also get grass-fed beef at the US Chef store. Excellent quality, great price, and it will go on sale quite frequently if you keep your eye out for it. The second kind of controversial jab was the fact of, well, why not support your local butcher? And listen, I completely agree with you. I would love to support every local butcher in my hometown, but I went to our local grocery store and I'm gonna take you guys along with me and show you the price of our local meat. So I just want to show you for reference, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't support local, I get that, but the responsibility and the burden of supporting local should not be on the consumer. It is not my responsibility, nor is it your responsibility to pay 5 times the amount. I completely understand and support the fact that we should support our local ranchers, butchers, all the things, but when you're going to the store and seeing that the cost of supporting local is $50 for a tiny chicken that can fit into my hand, or $80 for a tri-tip when I got a massive tri-tip for $60 some at the US Chef store. I understand that what I'm purchasing is not local, it's not supporting a local farmer per se, but it is supporting a farmer somewhere. It's supporting a facility of farmers who is selling direct to stores like the US Chef store, Restaurant Depot, and all of these places. So even though I may not be directly supporting a farmer that's in my hometown, I'm still supporting the agricultural system of wherever. And I understand the pricing of all of this. I get it. It's local, it's all grass-fed, it's all natural, all the good things that I understand and agree with, and I bet it tastes amazing. But when we're talking about feeding an entire family, maybe you're budget conscious, maybe you just simply can't afford it, you still deserve to know how to feed your family with high quality proteins. And I'm just here trying to educate moms, women, that you can feed your family with really great sources of proteins, even grass-fed, but doing it in an alternative way where you're not shelling out thousands of dollars up front. You're doing it in a way that's sustainable for you and your family, and it is possible. And lastly, I just want to say, if supporting your local rancher and always having grass-fed, most organic, best quality tasting meat, I think that's fantastic. If you can afford it and you can do it, I think it's great. But if you are stressed out, maybe feeling guilty or feeling like, oh, I really want really great quality meat and proteins for my family, but maybe I can't afford, or it's not a possibility to buy a half, a whole cow, it's okay. That's not the only way, not the only method to get really great proteins for your family. I would love for you to take 1 month and try my meat meal prep method and just give it a try. Another question you guys had is, how much freezer space does my meat meal prep method take? So I wanted to show you guys what my freezer in my kitchen looks like about 3 weeks into the month. And it's pretty manageable, I would say. Because our family is a family of 5, I can fit most of my meat into my freezer that I currently have in my kitchen. In the future, I would love to buy a side-by-side refrigerator and freezer to store in my garage, but that's not just for the meat. It's because a lot of times we're hosting and we need extra space for drinks and food and all kinds of things. But if you have a regular standard freezer, whether it's a bottom freezer or you have the side-by-side door freezer, this is very manageable and very doable to do in your own kitchen. You don't need to buy an extra freezer or refrigerator for this, because if you are storing things nice and flat, you can just stack things neatly in your freezer, and honestly, it does not take up that much space because we are utilizing a protein every single night for the most part. So no, it does not take up that much space. It is very doable for a standard regular schmegular kitchen. So the last thing I want to say is that if you have thought that, man, I can't buy meat in bulk because I can't afford this half cow or entire cow, or it's just not feasible for me and my family, I want to teach you and I want to challenge you to try my meat meal prep method. Go to a US Chef store, go to a Costco if you don't have a US Chef store near you, and go ahead and pick out 4 different proteins for the entire month. I would recommend starting with a cut of beef, different types of chickens, a ground beef, and then maybe one more protein. Maybe it's a fish, or just go ahead and stick to another beef. I would choose about 4 different types of protein for the entire month. Spend some time prepping it, putting it away in either Ziploc bags or freezer storage bags, whatever you have on hand. You do not need to buy any special equipment to do this. And just give it a month and see how it goes for your family. I guarantee you that not only will you save a ton of money on food, on meat, but you're going to want to cook more because you know that in your freezer, you already have proteins. You don't need to run to the grocery store. You don't need to pick up anything extra. I truly believe this is going to be a game changer for your family. And listen, if down the line you want to go ahead and buy that whole or half steer, nobody is stopping you. I think it's a great option. But if that's something that's not feasible to you or your family, doing this month at a time bulk meat prep has been absolutely revolutionary for our family. And I know that it can help a lot of other people, and I highly, highly recommend it. So if you have any more questions, or if you decide to try this meat meal prep method, let me know either in the comments, find me on social media. I would love to know how it worked out for your family. I've had several women already reach out to me and tell me that they tried this, and it has been so helpful with having dinners ready every single night. And it's been amazing to hear how women are utilizing this meat meal prep method in their own kitchens. And if you have any other questions, let me know down in the description box down below. If you're interested in absolutely anything you saw in this video, as always, I'll have links in my description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one.